I'm really excited today because the topic we're going to be discussing and sharing techniques about is really close to my heart. When I'm coaching clients, whether they're business owners, they're employees or leaders, one of the most common requests that seems to come up from clients is the desire to increase and experience more confidence in their business, in their life, in their work. And that's why we created the Confident Catalyst, an approach for business owners that is strategic as well as for leaders. And I'm super excited today to introduce Elissa Bernstein. Elissa is a presentation and voice coach, and she works with leaders as well as professional speakers. Welcome, Elissa.
Well, thank you, Jen. Hi, everybody. And let me introduce you to Jen DeTracey. Jen is an Elevate Results coach. She works with small business owners and leaders.
Thank you, Elissa. I'll be sharing a few quick, easy-to-use techniques on increasing your confidence, boosting your confidence, and Elissa will share 3 ways to project confidence as a presenter.
All right, Jen, take it away.
So today, I want to start by sharing a story. I worked in the music business for over 10 years, and my last gig was working for a .com, which really shows my age because it was in the .com bomb era. The day I got to work, I knew that this gig would not be lasting very long for me. And when it ended 3 months later, I had to ask myself, what am I going to do now? And I decided, based on my experience as a marketing strategist, that I would go out and do consulting. But truth is, I didn't know back then. This is a long time ago. This is more than 23 years ago. What I was going to do here, Elissa. So you can imagine how maybe a little scared I was.
Absolutely.
So here was my strategy. I had a client that had booked a session with me for a marketing assessment, and I went out to a high-end department store and I bought myself a tailored black suit that was made in the UK. It felt like I was wearing a glove. It was so beautiful. I bought a nice white dress shirt, and when I looked in the mirror and when I wore this suit, I felt that I was stepping into myself, into my expertise, and into my confidence. So that when I met with this client, Robert, for the first time, he was the owner of a gas fireplace store. When I walked in the door, I had this air of confidence about me and friendliness. And we had a great meeting. And after the second meeting, I received my first contract as a marketing strategist, and this was a true delight for me. So I was able to take something, even in my nervousness, put on that costume, you could say, and step into that confidence, and it felt so good. So
I love that. I could just picture you.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'd like to do today is share with you a process that I take clients through when I'm coaching, starting with something called confidence framing. But before I frame up what that is, first of all, I want you to think about a time in your life. It could be a long time ago when you were young and you're in your teens, or presently, where you learned something new that was hard. Like it wasn't an easy thing. You didn't have confidence around it. And then eventually you got to that place where you felt confident and you weren't thinking about it in the same way. And when I think about one of my clients, and this comes up a lot, actually, as I asked this client, what's that one thing for you? And he said salsa dancing. When he started salsa dancing, it was messy for him. He felt embarrassed. His feet were all over the place. And a year later, after learning this skill and having that joy and passion towards it, he was starting to get into competitions and he was feeling a lot more confident. And what the beauty was of that is he could see that where he started and where he got to required work. And at the same time, now when he thought about salsa dancing, he felt joy and passion, and he could feel that and embody it in his body. So when we talk about confidence framing, I invite you to take that time that you can think about where you're at that peak of confidence, and just as a snapshot in time, like we're taking a picture of that situation, just like I would with this client, where there he is walking into the studio, feeling joy, pumped about having his class for that day. Imagine that snapshot for yourself. That's the confidence framing piece. And then as you step into that feeling, and so not only is confidence there, think about the other feelings that show up for you. For me, when I stepped into my suit, I felt excitement and anticipation and joy. So what is that for you in this little frame that you're imagining? What other feelings are you experiencing? And then just take a moment to breathe in nice and deep into your belly and out. Do that again, in and out. And notice in your body when you're stepping into this confidence in this moment, where do you feel that? Some people feel it in their chest or their head or their shoulders. Maybe their shoulders settle down a bit and they feel that they're standing taller, or they feel the energy in their arms or legs. So notice where that is for you in your body, that you really feel that confidence, and just breathe into that. And the next step in this is what we call dialing it up. So once you're stepped into that state, just imagine you have a dial in front of you. Now that dial, I'm old school here, so I imagine the days in high school where I had like a locker combo, the manual ones you just spin around. That's my dial. But for you, it could be something different. For one of my clients last week, it was a thermometer. Another one, it was a sundial. So whatever that is for you, imagine in your mind's eye a dial. And you're going to imagine that and just turn it up as little or as much as you want. And just breathe into your body and increase that level of confidence that you're already feeling wherever that is in your body. Just take a moment to do that. Nice and easy, breathing in and feeling that. And stay with that just for a moment. And if you notice after a second or two that your confidence might drop a little bit, go ahead and turn up that dial more. The beauty of the dial is you have complete and full control over the level of confidence that you want to dial up into. So go ahead and do that. We're just going to take a moment here. Breathe in and dial up. Feel that fully and completely. And just in the essence of time, I'll get you just to wiggle your fingers and toes for a moment. Just come back here. I want to share with you why this process can be so powerful. The brain that's the most powerful part of the brain, the future brain, the possibility brain, is the neocortex. It's the newest part of the brain. It's very old still. But what it does is, as you feel that in your body and you feel that confidence and all those other desired feelings, you're sending neural pathways to your brain, and you can take yourself to that state. And just like a snap, you can bring yourself there. The key is that you just need to have consistency in practicing it first. And if you can be in that state for a minimum of 68 seconds, ideally 2 minutes, but 68 seconds minimum, then what you do is you train yourself to feel that, so that when you imagine that in the future, you can bring it on just naturally and organically. So I recommend to my clients that they take that feeling and they attach it to a habit. For example, in the morning, it might be when you hear the alarm go off, or after you get out of bed and brush your teeth, or after drinking a coffee or tea, or before you turn on your laptop or press the power bar on your computer to get going, your power button. So think about what that might be for you. And I just want to invite you for the next 7 days to commit to experiencing this process and notice how that is for you. And if you want to up level it to the next level, you can do it 2 times a day. So 1 time in the morning and the second time either in the afternoon or in the evening. Many of my clients will say, well, I have a hot shower before bed, so they'll do it after their shower or after they've read their book or after they've turned off their cell phone, whatever that might be. So think about if you'd like to do it a second time in the day. And if you put a timer on for 2 minutes, then you're really giving yourself the fullness of this. So this is a process that I invite you to try. And again, you might want to put it in your scheduler to remind you so you can really commit to that.
I love it. I love it, Jen. You know, I first learned about this from you last week when we're doing a run through, and I have been doing it. And it's very powerful.
Well, thanks for sharing, Elissa, and I'm really glad that you tried it out. And I imagine as we've gone through it today, you're pretty much ready to jump into your part of the presentation.
Exactly. So what a great thing to do right before my presentation. I love it. And when I dial it up, you play with the dial. It can get so strong. Then you feel like you're going to take over the world. Maybe a little too much, right? So you can adjust it down to something a little bit more human and accessible. Okay, well, we talked about building confidence. Let's talk about projecting confidence particularly as a speaker. So why am I talking about projecting confidence? Well, you could be a very confident speaker, but not necessarily project confidence. And for most performers, and the truth is, as a presenter, you are a performer. For most performers, confidence is going to ebb and flow. You never quite know exactly how you're going to feel. A few months ago, I was delivering a presentation. And beforehand, I felt the normal butterflies, normal nerves, which is good. But just before I was set to go up, the nerves intensified big time. They got so strong, I was almost in a panic. Now, this had never happened to me before, and it was scary. It felt like I couldn't go up there. But performers know it's not what you feel. It's not even what you think. It's what you do. And that's why I'm going to show you things that you can do to project confidence no matter how you're feeling. Let's get started. There is one habit that almost every speaker has that makes them appear nervous, insecure, even lacking in expertise. Let's see if you can guess what it is. I'm not going to tell you. I'm actually going to demonstrate. Here we go. Great speaking seems like an elusive goal for so many of us, and yet we all have the potential to be great because we are great speakers in life, and it's truly our birthright to communicate, to share, to express who we are, to connect with others, and great speakers are simply tapping into that innate ability, but we can all learn how to do that. Okay, I need a breath. Now, does that sound...
I need a breath too.
I know, right? Empathetically, right? You can feel, oh my God, I'm in a panic. Does that sound familiar, Jen? Have you heard speakers who do that?
Oh, yeah. And then you just feel stressed out while you're listening to them.
Yeah, so double stress, right? They're stressed, they're rushed, they're nervous. Okay, so tell me, how many ideas did you hear me speak?
Gosh, I'm going to guess 4.
4? Okay. But that was all in one sentence. So I've got this big, long sentence, your typical run-on sentence, with all those ideas. Now that's a problem. We pile on information. No stopping, just more information. Now why do we do that? Well, feels natural, feels easy, and yeah, it is easy, but easy doesn't mean better. What we end up with is this rambling one note. You know, the typical monotone speaker we all complain about? That's what you end up sounding like. And it also sounds like
the paint drying on the wall.
Oh my God, it's awful. We hate these presentations. All right, time to fix it. Here's the makeover. Great speaking seems like an elusive goal for so many of us. Yet we all have the potential to be great because we are great speakers in life. It's truly our birthright to communicate, to share, to express who we are, to connect with others. Great speakers are simply tapping into that innate ability, but we can all learn how to do that. All right, how is my fix? Was that better? Did that sound better?
Very smooth.
Nice. And then you can hear strength. I'm in control. You hear comfort, clarity, much clearer for the listener. So now, Jen, how many How many sentences do you think I had there?
Well, I would say about, I don't know, 5 or 6 maybe?
Yes. There are about 6 or 7 sentences. Each one is its own little expression. And maybe you notice there's more variety in my speaking when I speak like that. More personality. Good thing? Absolutely. Now, the run-on may feel more natural when I pile it all together, but breaking it down, that is more spontaneous sounding. Why? Because in life, when I speak, every time I have a new idea, there's a new energy. There's a new voice. There's a new body. There's a new emotional state. And that's what creates this wonderful electric, dynamic kind of speaking that the great speakers are tapping into. And that's what gives off this air of well-being, of ease, of confidence. The technique is called one-on-one, one idea at a time. Simple idea, right? Here's the catch. It takes practice, like all good things. But what a game changer. Not only are you more engaged, you create more of a connection, a bond with the audience. It does slow you down and you're going to have to cut your material, but that's a good thing, right? Right, Jen? Don't we all try to pummel in too much information?
Slice and dice.
Slice and dice. I like. All right, that's number 1. Let's move on to number 2. There's another habit that seriously undermines speakers and makes them seem awkward, uncomfortable. It's how we use our body. Now imagine that speaker with the run-on, rambling quality. Can you picture the gesture? Do you picture that pumping gesture? The head moving, the body moving. Now, movement is great, but excessive movement, not so good. So why do we do that? Well, like the run-on, it feels good. We're trying to express, but we're trying too hard, and it gets distracting, especially online where everything's magnified. Solution. Tip number 2, get stable. Stable in the head, in the gesture, in the body. You're going to start to feel where you really want to move. And then you'll start tapping into your own natural expressive movement. That's powerful. That's projecting confidence and leadership and strength. Again, takes practice. So use it when you rehearse. Now, speaking of rehearsal, here we move on to number 3. I always ask my speakers, tell me, how do you prepare? What's your process? I get things like, I walk around the living room. I do it while driving, do it while doing the dishes, in the shower, in my head. I also ask, do you know what your setup is? They usually say, I'm not sure. I guess I'll find out when I get there. This is not helping speakers. If you don't practice exactly or close enough to how you will perform, you are not going to bring your best. Remember, you are a performer. You want to prepare like one. So, tip number 3, find out what that setup is. Find out as much information as possible. What kind of mic is it? Is it handheld? Is it lapel? Is there a podium? What kind of podium? What is the stage like? Is it raised? What's the audience? How many chairs in the audience? What are the lights like? What kind of screen? Everything. And set yourself up at home or at the office in a similar way. And make sure you know how you're using your notes and format them so they're easy to access. Bullet points, outline, know what you need, and practice with that. It's stressful up there, everyone. It's stressful presenting. You want to eliminate any unknowns. Now, my last tip, get into the room before you present. I know it's not always an official thing. Just get in there. Get in there. Find a way. Ask to get up on stage. Ask to try the mic out. Do a sound check. All that is going to help build your strength so that you can project confidence again, no matter how you're feeling in that moment. So back to my scary talk a few months ago. I'm really proud to say I didn't run from the room screaming and crying because I had to get up there, right? I said to myself, trust your preparation, trust your skill. And it worked. It worked. My preparation and skill, they were like guardian angels who just presented for me while I just recovered and got used to being up there. And of course, it was fine after a few minutes.
I coach a lot of people in the tech industry that struggle with something called a stand-up meeting. So it's not formal. They're not professional speakers. They have to have the confidence to be able to speak online on a Zoom meeting and say their one thing or their update for the day. And a lot of them feel nervous and worried about how other people will perceive them. So there's the one thing to do the work that I share with them to build that confidence. So if we're looking at it not from a professional place and that they're not doing big long presentations or at the front of the room, what would you suggest in that case?
Jen, I'd go right back to tip 1, 2, 3. It is skill. I don't care if you're a professional or you just get up once a year, have the basic skill. We should be learning this in school. I don't know what we're doing in school, but we should be learning this. Get used to just calming yourself down, deliver one idea at a time and stopping. The nerves, they get into our speaking and then our speaking gets nervous. Calm down the speaking, calm down the body, and then that's going to translate into more calm in you as well.
I love that. I love that. And just that getting stable, slowing the body down and that preparation as well, like really having less versus more when you're sharing.
It's tough, isn't it? I mean, when we did our run through the first time, I said, I got to cut, and it's hard. They call it killing your darlings, editing your own work. It's tough, but it's not about you, right? And all the things you want to say, it's about the audience. What can they take in? Not easy to do for all of us, but it is your job. Do it, and you'll feel so much better when you've done it.
How can people stay connected with you?
Yeah, well, I'd love to connect with you. If you are interested in knowing, well, how do I apply these tools to my own presentations, to your own specific situation, so that you can increase your impact, set up a time with me. I'm going to put in the comments a link. It's a complimentary 30-minute session, and we will look at how you can increase your impact this year in all your presentations. And what about you, Jen? How can they get in touch with you?
I would love to continue the conversation with you in a one-on-one style around increasing your confidence, getting to that level of confidence that you really long to have. So after we're done this presentation, I will put in the comments a calendar link, and you can have a coaching conversation with me about that, just to extend the confidence catalyst in the way that you approach it.
That sounds great.
I just want to say, Elissa, that I really like the part about getting stable.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so easy to not be aware of the body. Things like rocking or the hands really moving or the deer caught in the headlight look that can happen in presentations. Those things certainly can be challenging as well.
So true. And that's what I like about what you did, Jen, is the whole idea of getting inside the body, becoming connected to your body. What is going on? Do you even sense your body? And doing the exercise that you talked about will get you aware of your body. When you're speaking, you need that awareness. And that comes in during your practice time. When we're speaking, we get in, it's a performance. Our whole brain shifts, right? We're the amygdala is active. We're very aware of being stared at. We need to develop that awareness while we are practicing this. What am I doing with my hands? Where is my body? Where am I looking? Where am I looking? The thing I didn't mention with the body, we tend to scan. So there's this constant movement that we want to stabilize.
You also have a technique that you share as well around, what do we call it, box breathing. And I'm wondering if maybe you could take a moment to talk about that, how they can use that before presenting or even using it in other ways when they want to feel more confident and settle their system.
Yeah, this is an incredible thing. It's so simple. Again, it's a yoga technique. If you've done yoga, you've probably done this. You inhale, you hold, you exhale, you hold. And there are different variations of this. What this does, it takes you out of the fight or flight. We all know fight or flight. The amygdala is telling you you are in danger, run for your life, or beat up that tiger. Usually we want to run, right?
Yeah.
We may not feel like we want to beat up a tiger. And that's why some people who, when they go up to present, they feel like running out of the room, just as I felt there. And it's so easy. This is something, again, if you're somebody who does suffer from a lot of nerves, start early on. I suggest you start this as soon as you find out about the presentation. You inhale, let's say inhale for 2, hold for 2, then exhale for 2, and hold for 2. I do this with everybody, my acting students, my voice students, my singers, and of course my speakers. You'd be amazed. You just do this for a couple of minutes and you will feel that shift from the sympathetic mode, fight or flight, to the parasympathetic mode. Now, it's not going to relax you completely, and that's a good thing because you do not want to be totally relaxed when you're performing. It will take that edge off so you don't feel the panic. Have you tried that? Have you done any breath work, Jen?
Yes, I use breath work a lot. Even coming here today, I have a whole process I go through around breath work before coming and speaking, whether it be coaching or the consulting I do or doing a presentation like this where we're sharing information. I find it very helpful. Well, since this is a lunch and learn, I guess we will wrap it up for the day. And of course, my guest here today, Elissa, it's so great to be able to do this with you. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone. Great weekend, and we will see you soon.